Jai Shri Krishna, Hari Om everyone. Welcome to the 8th session of this year's online Gita Parayan and Satsang. As we start off, just a quick reminder of the upcoming event. We are going to have the Sampurna Gita Parayan on Mokshda Ekadashi Day on the 1st of December. RPGP Hall, all 18 chapters will be chanted. So please do register at the Gita Jayanti website for this particular event. So this is the sequence that we are going to follow today. We will start with invocation prayers. May I request Arjunji to please chant the invocation prayers.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Vidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sattva Vighnopashantaye. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Thank you, Arjunji, for getting us started. Our guest for the day is Mrs. Sharmila Patel, who is the president of Singapore Gujarati Society. She was supposed to join us this morning, but unfortunately she has been taken unwell, and so she is not able to join us. So she has kindly passed on her message, which I will read out on her behalf. So this is the message from Mrs. Sharmila Patel, who is the president of the Singapore Gujarati Society. Hari Om and good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to join you for this online Gita Parayan and Satsang. On behalf of the Singapore Gujarati Society, I extend a warm welcome to all participants as well as the chanters and the lecturer. SGS, Singapore Gujarati Society, had the honor of being the lead organization for Gita Jayanti in 2011. It is heartening to see the activities are continuing, transcending COVID issues, especially activities like the monthly Gita Parayan have gone online now. It is good to see Gita Jayanti Singapore is able to bring more and more organization in its fold over all these years. The Bhagavad Gita inspires us to live with wisdom, courage, and compassion. And gatherings like this help us deepen our understanding. At SGS, we celebrate our culture and values through vibrant events throughout the year. From the colorful Holi festival and the joyful Janmashtami celebrations to the lively uh, Beta Garba on the first day of Navratri, our aim is to bring the community together in devotion and joy. At times, our members also put up in house dramas which not only entertain but strengthen our bonds as a family. These activities reflect our commitment to keep our traditions alive while fostering a sense of togetherness. I'm happy to be a part of this session today and look forward to the Parayan of chapters 11 and 12, followed by the insightful lecture by Sri Rajesh Anandji. May this session bring knowledge, peace, and inspiration to us all. Thank you and Jai Shri Krishna. So, this is the message from Mrs. Sharmila Patel. As I mentioned, she has been unable to join us because she is feeling unwell. So, we thank her for sending us this message. We will now begin with the Gita Dhyanam, followed by the Parayanam of chapters 11 and 12, followed by the Gita Mahatmya. Over to you, Arjunji and Ramaji. The mother and son combination are the chanters for today.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सद्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमम् गुह्यमध्यात्मसंहितम् यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम। भवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्। एवमेतद्यथार्थत्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम। मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोऽथसहस्रशः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च। पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत। इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरम् मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद्द्रष्टुमिच्छसि न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्। सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ततो राजन् महायोगेश्वरो हरिः दर्शयामास पार्थाय परमं रूपमैश्वरम् अनेकवक्त्रनयनम् अनेकाद्भुतदर्शनम् अनेकदिव्याभरणम् दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधम् दिव्यमाल्याम्बरधरम् दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनम् सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवम् अनन्तं विश्वतोमुखम् दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भासदृशी सा स्यात् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः। तत्रैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं प्रविभक्तमनेकधा अपश्यद्देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डवस्तदा ततः स विस्मयाविष्टः हृष्टरो मा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवम् कृताञ्जलिरभाषत। अर्जुन उवाच पश्यामि देवांस्तव देवदेहे सर्वांस्तथा भूतविशेषसङ्घान् ब्रह्माणमीशं कमलासनस्थम् ऋषींश्च सर्वानुरगांश्च दिव्यान् अनेकबाहूदरवक्त्रनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपम् नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिम् पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तम् पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम् त्वमक्षरं परमं वेदितव्यं त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् त्वमव्ययः शाश्वतधर्मगोप्ता सनातनस्त्वं पुरुषो मतो मे अनादिमध्यान्तमनन्तवीर्यम् अनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रम् स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदन्तपन्तम् द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्घा विशन्ति केचिद्भीताः प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षिः सिद्धसङ्घाः स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्याः विश्वेश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घाः वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं महाबाहो बहुबाहुरुपादं बहूदरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोकाः प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम् नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्याक्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद्विलग्ना दशनान्तदेशो सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामी नरलोकवीराः विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम् भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववरप्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन् द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथा ज्ञानपि योधवीरान् मया हतांस्त्वं जहिमा व्यथिष्ठाः युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान् सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णम् सगद्गतं भीतभीतः प्रणम्य अर्जुन उवाच स्थाने हृषीकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत्प्रहृष्यद्यनुरज्यते च रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घाः कस्माच्च तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सदसत्तत्परं यत् त्वमादिदेवः पुरुषः पुराणः त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परन्निधानम् वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप वायुर्यमुग्निर्वरुणः शशाङ्कः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वः पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते नमः पुरस्तादथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः सखेति मत्वा प्रसभं यदुक्तम् हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति अजानता महिमानन्तवेदम् मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि यच्चावहासार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु येकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षं तत्क्षामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम् पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूज्यस्य गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वत्समूर्त्यभ्यधिकः कुतोऽन्यः लोकत्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमप्रभाव तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायम् प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमीड्यम् पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्युः प्रियः प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम् अदृष्टपूर्वं सृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपम् प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम् न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैः न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावः दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमीदृङ्ममेदम् व्यपेतभिः प्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य सञ्जय उवाच इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्तथोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः सचेताः प्रकृतिं गतः श्रीभगवानुवाच सुदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपम् दृष्टवानसि यन्मम देवा अप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्यया शक्य एवं विधो द्रष्टुम् दृष्टवानसि मां यथा भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्यः अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप मत्कर्म कृन्मत्परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः भक्तियोगः। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ वेशितचेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छानञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि तथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मः त्यागाच्छान्तिरनन्तरम् अद्वैत सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखः क्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यथात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तिं मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः। अथ गीतामाहात्म्यम् गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यम् यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जितः गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसाम् जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम् गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माविनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वम् विष्णोर्वक्त्रादिनिःसृतम् गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा।
Thank you very much, Arjunji and Ramaji, for that wonderful chanting, very delightful and soulful chanting of chapters 11 and 12. Very, very beautiful chapters. And I'm going to shortly invite Rajesh Anandji to deliver the lecture on chapters 11 and 12. But before I invite Rajesh ji, quick reminder to everyone who is attending here, the recordings of these chanting of the entire session, the Parayan, as well as the lecture sessions are available on Gita Jayanti's YouTube channel. They are also available on Gita Jayanti's Facebook page. So in case you have missed out, or in case you want to listen to the wonderful lectures and the chanting once again, we will request you to go to the YouTube channel or the Gita Jayanti Facebook page so that you can have access to it whenever you feel like listening to the Gita, listening to the meaning of the Gita. So let me now invite Sri Rajesh Anandji for giving us the lecture. I'll give you a quick introduction to Rajesh ji. Rajesh ji has been associated with Gita Jayanti for many years now. He is professionally a senior engineering manager in the oil and gas industry. He has been working in Singapore for about 20 years now. For those who know him in person, he is very passionate about Vedic scriptures and he gives various talks on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the Ramayana. He is also a certified yoga teacher. He is associated with JK Yog of Swami Mukundananda. So with those words, let me welcome Sri Rajesh Anandji to please deliver his lecture on chapters 11 and 12 of the Gita. Rajesh ji, go to you.
कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः त्वम् आदिदेवः पुरुषः पुराणस्य त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परमं निधानं वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप मय्येव मन आदतस्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवस्यसि मामेव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Thank you, Anand ji. Thank you, Srinivas ji, and everyone else in Bhagavad Gita Jayanti celebrations and this session for giving a chance for me to deliver a session on chapter 11 and chapter 12. And thanks for your kind words, which I always feel is an exaggeration because I am so average in my knowledge, in my devotion. But nevertheless, yes, I have been associated with Gita Jayanti celebrations and functions, and I'll try my best to say something on chapter 11 and chapter 12, and not only chapter 11 and chapter 12, but also about Bhagavad Gita in general, how I perceive Bhagavad Gita, how I relate to it. And these days, I am very passionate about implementing the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in my life. And I'll share a few insights about that. So at the outset, our Koti Koti Pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our Koti Koti Pranam to my mentor, Swami Mukundanandji. My humble pranams to each one of you. And now let us delve into the chapter 11 and chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, the Vishwarup Darshan Yog, chapter 11 and chapter 12, Bhakti Yog. As we all know, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and there are 700 verses. The first chapter is about Arjun's lamentation, Arjun Vishad Yog. And the second chapter, okay, I'll correct my posture. So is it okay now? Okay, and the voice is audible, I guess. So the first chapter is Arjun Vishad Yog, the lamentation by Arjun, in which Arjun is actually telling his points to Sri Krishna and justifying why is it inappropriate for him to indulge in this war, and he'll be killing his kith and kin, etc. So Sri Krishna just listens to Arjun in this chapter and lets him say whatever he has to say. And there are some beautiful verses. The one which is my favorite is Panchjanyo Rishi Kesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Ondram Dadmo Mahakaya Bhim Karma Vikodaraha Anant Vijayam Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthiraha Nakula Devas Sahadevascha Sughoshmani Pushpaka. Just imagine the conch shells have been described in such elegant way, and this is about bhakti, that we are glorifying the conch shell of Sri Krishna, which is Panchajanya, Devadatta, the conch shell of Arjun. And we should also remember that both Sri Krishna, of course, is a divine personality, we all know. Arjun is also a divine personality. He is, as I understand, he is the avatar of Nar Narayan. Nar Narayan is the avatar of the Lord, and Arjun is the same descension of Nar Narayan. So he is a divine personality. He is God realized. But then he is pretending he is not. He is representing us, so he has to act like us. He has to talk about his doubts, his lack of clarity, his point about the mission of life, etc. So let us remember that in reality, Arjun is a divine personality. Sri Krishna, we all acknowledge he is the divine personality. In fact, among the divine personalities, Sri Krishna is the topmost. Because if we look at ourselves, we know we are there, and we have our father and grandfather and great-grandfather. Some of us have seen our grandfather. I have not seen my paternal grandfather, but I know his name, etc. And then there was his father and grandfather and his father and grandfather. So if we go back into the chain, as per the Vedic literature, we reach Manuji Maharaj. Many of us reach Kashyap ji because he is the progenitor of so many humans. And if we go beyond, then we reach Manuji Maharaj and finally Lord Brahma. So before Lord Brahma is Sri Vishnu. From his navel, Sri Brahma has originated. And even Sri Vishnu, the Garbhodashai Vishnu, is coming from the Mahavishnu or the Karnavashai Vishnu, Karnarvashai Vishnu, and above the Mahavishnu descension is the Chaturvyu, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, and Sankarshan. Above that is the avatar of Balram. And if you go on, there is another Chaturvyu in between as per the Vedic literature. Then you go to Sri Krishna. So who is beyond Sri Krishna? No one. That is why we always refer to Sri Krishna as the avatari. Every avatar has descended from him. So should we differentiate between Mahavishnu and Sri Krishna? Actually, they are one and the same. But Mahavishnu is enacting a role, and Vishnu is enacting, Garbhodashai Vishnu and Kshirodashai Vishnu are enacting a role, and Brahmaji is also the descension of the Supreme Personality, but he is enacting a role. Lord Shiv is enacting a role. So in every Brahman, there is a Brahma, there is a Vishnu, and then there is a Shiv. And how many Brahmans are there? There are innumerable, infinite Brahmans. We all know from Mahavishnu's pores of the body, innumerable universes are emanating. Now, all this sounds so fascinating, so mind-boggling that we don't understand most of it. But what I am trying to say, Sri Krishna is the topmost. And that Sri Krishna, he tells about himself in Bhagavad Gita in 7th chapter, 7th shlok. Mattah partaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. O Arjun, there is no one beyond me. I am the top. I am the highest. The same knowledge he gives in 10:8 also. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. In so many places, Sri Krishna says he is the topmost, the Supreme Personality. So this we should remember, the position of Sri Krishna. We should remember Arjun is also a divine personality, but he is pretending he is not. We should know a bit about Veda Vyas, who embedded Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata. Veda Vyas is also a divine personality. He is supposed to be the literary incarnation of the Lord, the son of Satyavati and Parashar. His birth itself is so mystifying, mysterious, and glorious. And he is the author of the Vedas, divider of the Vedas. He is the author of Vedanta Sutra. He is the author of Mahabharata, the longest epic. And he is the author of 17 Puranas and 18th Purana also. After creation of 17th Purana, when he was feeling dissatisfied, Naradji comes to him and tells him, you have written so much, Veda Vyasji, but you are dissatisfied. This happened on the bank of Saraswati. And of course, all these are Leelas for our welfare. And Naradji tells him that you are dissatisfied that in Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta Sutra, you have not sufficiently glorified the Lord. You have not sufficiently glorified Sri Krishna. That is why you are not having that satisfaction and bliss which you deserve. And then he composes Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran based on the Chaturshloki Bhagavat which Lord Narayan had spoken to Brahmaji, and then Brahmaji had spoken to Naradji, his son, and so on and so forth. That Bhagavat Puran, which we know as a conversation between Sankadik Rishis and Naradji, a conversation between Shukdev Ji Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, a conversation between Maitreya Rishi and Vidur Ji. That Bhagavad Mahapuran is composed by Veda Vyas, which is a repository, such a great treasure glorifying Sri Krishna. It is full of bhakti. Pibat Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So in Bhagavat, it is all about bhakti. Where else you had read about the Gajendra Moksha, that how Sri Krishna in the form of Vishnu, he comes and rescues the elephant Gajendra from the crocodile. Where else you would have read about the Maharas Leela between Sri Krishna and the gopis, about Lord becoming Sri Narsingh and protecting Prahlad Ji, same Lord becoming Prithu Maharaj and flattening the earth and making the earth habitable, the same Lord becoming Kapil Dev Bhagwan and giving lecture on Sankhya Yoga to his mother Devhuti, the same Lord taking the form of Ram and Balaram and Parshuram and even Buddha very recently to re-establish non-violence, and good living standards. So he hides his real personality. He doesn't talk about God, he doesn't talk about Vedas, he propagates Buddhism, which has all the ingredients what is described in the Shastra, but the Vedas and the divinity part as described in the Vedas are hidden. So that is why there is so much of discussions about Buddhism, and but there was a purpose why Lord hid, you know, his real self. And then, of course, at the end of Kali Yuga, Kalki Avatar will take place. So these are the different forms of Sri Krishna, because I'm talking about Sri Krishna, who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. So that was the background. And the first chapter we spoke about. In the second chapter, Sri Krishna delivers Sankhya Yoga. Such a beautiful chapter, the second longest, 72 verses. And he gives such a glorious account of the spiritual knowledge, the karma, philosophy of karma, and what is the position of our self, and how we think and contemplate, and how our thinking binds us. All that he talked about in second chapter. Third chapter is all about karma yoga, detailed account of law of karma, how there are three types of karma: sanchit karma, prarabdha karma, and kriyaman karma, and how if we don't dovetail the karma in the pleasure of the Lord, we do karma for the service of the Lord. Until we do that, then how it is binding is described in Karma Yoga, third chapter. Fourth chapter is about Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga, the knowledge and the renunciation. Those points come into the picture. The fifth chapter is about Karma Sannyas Yoga, where Sri Krishna distinguishes that what is the meaning of renouncing all that we do. So as I was described, I am a householder, I'm working in oil and gas industry. So what if I renounce all these and retire into a forest and renounce my actions? So that is the sannyas. Is that the real sannyas? Or you can stay in your household and do whatever you are doing, but in your mind you are contemplating about the divine, you are doing bhakti. Which path is preferable? And Sri Krishna makes it very clear that a karma yogi is preferred by me, although karma sannyasi is also equally glorious, because both are seeking God, but the majority are like us. So he talks very clearly about the karma yoga and karma sannyas. And the sixth chapter is about dhyan yoga, the contemplation. And then we come to the seventh chapter, the Gyan Vigyan Yoga, where we learn about the theoretical knowledge about spirituality and the practical aspect of the spiritual knowledge. The eighth chapter, Akshar Brahma Yoga, is about the imperishable personality, the Lord, and how we leave our body, yam yam vapi asmaran bhava. Those pieces of knowledge, Tyajante Kalevaram, whatever we think at the time of death, we become that. That is why Sri Krishna says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmar Yuddhacha. Mai Arpit Mano Buddhir Mame Vaishash Ya Sanshayah. Arjun, this is the summary of Bhagavad Gita. You do whatever you are doing your duty as a warrior, as a Kshatriya, but never for a moment forget me, because the moment you forget me, the Maya will overcome you and you will be bound by the Mayic philosophy, Mayic laws, Mayic rules. So if you want to overcome Maya, that is only possible by my grace. So Tasmat Sarveshu Kalesu, all the time think of me and do your duty. This point is so important that there couldn't be any other point more important than learning Bhagavad Gita. We may discuss a lot about chapter 11, we may discuss a lot about chapter 12, but if we have not understood that the essence of Bhagavad Gita is this: do your duties to the best of your ability, to the best of your potential, but remain focused on the Supreme, because you are a part of the Supreme. Mame vansho jeev loke jeev bhuta sanatana. We are a part of our soul, which is us. The body is different than the soul. We all know the real self is the soul, and the soul is a part of the Lord, ansh of the Lord. Like the waves are the part of the ocean, the heat and the light are the part of the fire, the light and the heat are the part of the sun. The same way we are the part of the Lord. So the mission for us is to realize that and connect to the Lord. Then only we can overcome the conditioned life that we have, which is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. We are all afflicted by birth, death, disease, and old age. And none of us are happy becoming old, becoming diseased, and coming to the end of our life. It is frightening to many of us. So death, disease, and old age, how do we overcome the fear? How do we overcome the challenges? So the Lord says, this place is a prison house for you. You are in the conditioned life. This is not your real home. Realize that and come to me. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papyabhya mokshishyami ma shucha. So this is the first and foremost knowledge that this place we want to make very bright and beautiful. We must attempt. But the three gunas are working. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic tendencies will always be there. So this place is meant to be Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, a house of miseries and temporary. So if we are in a place which is temporary and which is full of miseries, of course we should want to exit it. So one way to exit is Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmar Yuddhacha. At the time of death, if we remember Shri Krishna, we will go to his place, Golok. If we are a devotee of Ram, we will go to Saket. If we are a devotee of Lord Shiv, we will go to Kailas. If we are a devotee of Durga Mata, we will go to Devi Lok. If we are a devotee of Sri Vishnu, we will go to Vaikunt. So that is out of this material world, the Brahmand. So this is what Shri Krishna is telling in the 8th chapter. And in the 9th chapter, which is the Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Yog, Shri Krishna summarizes all the beautiful shlokas, talks about a very wonderful point that, O Arjun, if you do Ananya Bhakti to me, then I will look after you. I take a contract that I will provide you what you lack and I will preserve what you have. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshevam mahamyaham. The most iconic verse. What a contract Shri Krishna is taking. You do Ananya Bhakti to me. And what is Ananya Bhakti? As described in the 8th chapter. Tashyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityashah. The same point which was in 8.7 is described so elegantly again by Shri Krishna. There is a repetition of the same point. Ananya cheta satatam. Please remember me all the time. Yomam asmarati nityashah. We can ask Sri Krishna, you already said that. Why are you repeating? In literature, it is called punurukti dosh. You repeat whatever you have already said, but this is not a fault in the literature. Shri Krishna is repeating because we keep forgetting. Ananya cheta satatam yomam asmarati nityashah tashyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. Those who remember me all the time, I am easily available. Only in one place, Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has said that I am easily available to those who constantly remember me. And why should we not constantly remember him? If we are only reading chapter 11 and chapter 12 and reciting the verses over and over again, but not implementing it, what is the point? It was Sri Krishna's role to recite Bhagavad Gita and speak Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. Our role is to implement Bhagavad Gita. And what is Sri Krishna telling? I am there in your heart, O Arjun. So, in the 10th chapter, which is the Vibhuti Yoga, Sri Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashe Sthita Aham Adirhi Madhyam Cha Bhutana Mant Evacha. Arjun, I am seated in your heart. So, there are three forms of God. One form of God is called Paramatma, because Atma cannot live without Paramatma, without God. So, Atma and Paramatma are residing in us. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vrikshe Parikhashva Jata. This is from Svetasvatar Upanishad, where the verse clearly describes that both the Lord and our soul, which is a part of the Lord, are there in every living being. That's what Sri Krishna is telling, that I am there in you. The same Sri Krishna who spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun is seated in our heart right now. But how many of us are feeling that Sri Krishna is there within me? That intensity of feeling will define and describe how much we have progressed in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because Sri Krishna repeats this point again in 15:15, Purushottam Yoga. Sarvasya chaha mridi sannivisto matta smritir gyan apohanam cha vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedyo vedan kridved videva chaham. How more explicit could he be? Arjun, I am seated in your heart. I am the remembrance. I am the forgetfulness. I am the compiler of Vedas. The Veda has originated from me. I am the one who is to be known by the Vedas. And the only one who knows Vedas completely is me. Vedakrit, Vedavedya, Vedavitta. And then in 1861, which is the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyas Yoga, in that also Sri Krishna repeats the same point. Hrideshe Arjun Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rodhani Mayaya. So, I am seated in your heart. This point has been spoken by Sri Krishna so many times in Bhagavad Gita, but are we remembering that Sri Krishna is seated in our heart? Then Sri Krishna is telling about his other form, Brahma, because God is in three forms, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti Shabdite is the golden verse from Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran. Three forms of the Lord. Brahm, I am there in every particle of the universe. No matter how small the particle, electron, proton, quark, whatever, subatomic, I am there in that. And he is there in the largest object also. So he is there in every particle. That form of Sri Krishna is known as Brahma. The Nirgun, formless. And the Prakriti, the energy of Sri Krishna is acting all the time, binding us with the three gunas, Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sri Krishna describes that very beautifully in the 9th chapter, 10th verse, 11th verse. Mayyadhyakshena prakritim suyate sacharacharam avajananti ma mudham manushi tanumashrita param bhavam ajananto bhut mama bhuta maheshwaram. Otherwise, moghasha mogha karmano mogha jnana vichetasaha. The Maya is so strong that it takes just a moment for us to start having doubts. How can Sri Krishna, a child, lift Govardhan mountain on his fingertip? So we are telling whatever is written in Bhagavad Mahapuran is myth, is a story, is not factual. How, when Sri Krishna sucked the life out of Putana in the sky, Putana fell on the ground and she became 12 miles long. How is this possible? How is it possible that Sri Krishna, a child, kills Aghasur, Bakasur, Arishtasur, Chanur, Mustik, Kans, Dantavakra, Shishupal? We cannot understand. How is it that Sri Krishna plays on his flute and calls all the gopis at the midnight and does the Ras Leela? And the gopis who couldn't come out of the house, Sri Krishna has become the gopi, and that gopi has come to the Ras Leela. Like when Brahma stole the cows and the gopas, Sri Krishna became the gopas and the cows, and it appeared everything is the normal. Same way, the gopis who couldn't go because the husband was there, the mother-in-law was there, Sri Krishna has become the gopi and the gopi has gone to the Ras Leela. We start doubting, is all this possible? And I analyze this point. Yes, it all sounds so incredulous, so mind-boggling. And then I thought, but aren't we seeing miracles, around us? Our own body is a miracle. From the Raj and Virya of the mother and the father, the body has started developing. And now we have a body which is such a complex mechanism. How many systems and how many parts and how many limbs, all these God created on its own. Is this not a miracle? And the variety in the universe. So I'm digressing a lot. I was supposed to talk on 11 and 12, but I'm trying to just to conclude my background talk before coming to a specific 12 and 11 and 12 chapters, that Sri Krishna is the avatari. He is the supreme personality. There is no one beyond him. And he descends only once in one day of Brahma. So Brahma lives for 100 years, which is 311 trillion years. But one day of Brahma is 4.32 billion years. And in that day, Sri Krishna, the original avatari Sri Krishna, descends. And we are so fortunate that Sri Krishna, who descended, was only 5,200 years ago from today. And that is the Purna Avatar Sri Krishna. He descends in the 28th Chaturyugi of the 7th Manvantar in every Kalp. One Manvantar is consisting of 71 Chaturyugi. One Chaturyugi is Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kaliyug. Total 43,20,000 years. Multiply that by 71. That is one Manvantar. And in that Manvantar, in the 28th Chaturyugi, in the 7th Manvantar, Sri Krishna descends in every Kalp. So we are very fortunate that the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna, is the avatari Sri Krishna, and what we are learning is so fascinating, and there couldn't be anything more glorious than that. So I know not much about chapter 11. I have read chapter 12 a little bit more, but after Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam Yog and the 11th chapter, the 10th chapter Vibhuti Yog, in which Sri Krishna describes himself, that what am I going to tell you, Arjun? Among the trees, I am the banyan. Among the land animals, I am the lion. Among the aquatic animals, I am the crocodile. Among the warriors, I am Ram. Among the scholars, I am Viraspati, etc., etc. So much he describes about himself. And but how am I going to tell you everything about me because it is not possible to count my glories. So we all have come to the same understanding that Sri Krishna is God. He is omniscient, he is omnipresent, and he is omnipotent. He can do everything. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum samartha. He can do whatever he wishes to do. He can do reverse of whatever he does. There is nothing that he cannot do. So we shouldn't doubt about Putana incident or Narsimha avatar or about Kapil avatar or about Ram avatar or Krishna avatar. All these we have to believe to say that I'm a devotee of Sri Krishna and I can't live without Sri Krishna. Every moment I am thinking about Sri Krishna because otherwise the Maya is so powerful that it grips me with Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Moh, Matsar, lust, greed, anger, etc. all the time. Not that by becoming a devotee we have overcome our lust, greed, anger, etc. But we are definitely in a position to control it and transcend it and admit to Sri Krishna that Sri Krishna, without your grace, it is impossible for me to become without anger, without desires. I have tried for so many years, but it is not possible. Only your grace. So we have to keep intensifying our efforts, realizing that only the Lord, when He is pleased with our efforts, He will be able to subdue our negative tendencies. So in the 11th chapter, Sri Krishna shows his Vishwarupa. We already read the shlokas. Madan Ugrahya Paramam. It starts with that you described your glory, Sri Krishna. Now you please, can I tell you something that I want to see your form? I want to see your form. I want to see the divine form, Sri Krishna. And then Sri Krishna says that, Arjun, for you to be able to see my form, first I have to give you the divine vision. And then Sri Krishna gives him the divine vision and tells him, Pashya me partha rupani. Now you see my divine form. And what is that divine form? We read so much about it in the recitation. As I said, I am not very familiar with the content, with the exact content, but some of the shlokas are the most graphic and most beautiful to remember. For example, Tasmat Utistha Yasho Lavashwa Jitva Shatrun Bhungchya Rajyam Samridham Mayyeva Nihata Purvameva Nimit Matram Bhava Sabya Shacham. This is 1133. One of my favorite shloka. Arjun, I am doing everything. Mayyadhyakshena prakritim suyate sacharacharam. You just become the nimit. You are just an instrument. I have already killed all those who needed to be killed. And this is what we should know, that so much is going on in the world, politics, starvation, floods, earthquake, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik tap, the three tap we are all suffering. Is it possible for one individual like us to control everything and to remain unaffected? We have to learn the message from Bhagavad Gita that the Prakriti, the three Gunatmak Prakriti, the Lohit, Shukla, Krishna, the red, white, black, the three modes of material nature are affecting all of us. So if we cannot eliminate the tamasic gun, there will be some people who will indulge in the tamasic acts, and many of us indulge in the rajasic acts. We have not eliminated completely our ambition in the corporate or ambition in the family life. That means we are all rajasic. Sometimes we become tamasic also. But even sattvic is not Shuddha Sattva. It is not beyond gunas. It is not nirgun. We have to transcend even sattvic to become a bhakt. Because Satvik is about being good. But being good without devotion is what? We may become Indra or Varun or Kuber. But there also the Maya is equally strong. So, Yasho Lavashva Jitva Shatrun Bhungchya Rajyam Samridham Nimit Matram Bhava Shabbe Sachin. And before that, the other very famous slok 32 is Kalo Asmi Lokachaya Pravidde. I am the Kal, the time which decimates everything. This shloka was quoted by Robert Oppenheimer, the one who discovered the atomic power and created the bomb, and that was experimented in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So he was reciting this shloka. He was a scholar of Bhagavad Gita, it is said. There was a movie also recently. That verse I remember. And then so many other verses where Shri Krishna says, look at me, the Adityas, the Siddhas, and the Yaksha, the Gandharvas, all you can see in me. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, you can see in me. And Arjun sees the thousands and millions of faces and stomachs and hands. We cannot even imagine the Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga. As if to eliminate our doubts, Sri Krishna has shown such a magnificent form that we will stop doubting him forever if we have some faith in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So the only point which always comes to my mind, all this should make us go to the sloka number 87, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manushmar Yuddhecha. And the one sloka that I recited at the invocation, sloka number 38, this was my only tryst with Bhagavad Gita when I was in school. I think in one of my school books, this shloka was there. 38. Tvam Adideva Purusha Puranas Tomasya Vishwasya Paramam Nidhanam Vetashi Vedyam Chaparam Chadhamam Tvayatant Vishwamananta Rupa. When I started reading Bhagavad Gita about 30 years back and I discovered that this is from Bhagavad Gita, it was such a revelation that I knew one shloka from the time I was 8, 10, because I did not go to school up to 6th class. I studied a bit coming from a small town in a so-called backward estate. So I was not familiar with Bhagavad Gita. Another shloka which I read, which I knew, was in the prescription of a doctor in that town. He was a family doctor for us. And he used to write 247, the shloka, iconic shloka, Karmanyevadika Raste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Phale Turbu Mate Sango Astva Karmani. Then I used to figure out and ask someone, what is this shloka? No, this is from Bhagavad Gita. It says, just do your duty and do not worry about the results. Later, I came to know there is a deeper meaning. And then there was another shloka, Yogakshemam Mahamyaham, which was the logo of LIC, and LIC is there in every town. So these are the 3-4 points I knew about Bhagavad Gita until 30 years back, because of, all the illusionment and the delusions and whatever you call it. I was driven to Bhagavad Gita, then I started reading. So Vishwarup Darshan Yoga is about Sri Krishna showing the Virat form. Arjun becomes frightened, and then he says, Sri Krishna, please come back to your normal form. And the Vishwarup Darshan was visible only to Vedavyas' disciple Sanjay and Arjun, couple of other personalities. Sri Krishna had shown his divine form to Duryodhan also when he went to ask for one village for every brother of Pandavas. And finally, in the verse 53, Sri Krishna says, Naham vedair na tapsa na dane na chejya. You cannot get me by the knowledge of the Vedas, by the yajnas, by the charity, by the austerities. You can only get me by bhakti, by devotion. And devotion, as I discuss in some sessions in Gita Jayanti sessions, there are 6 conditions of bhakti, 6 conditions of surrender of the mind and intellect. Anukulasya, sankalpah, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshasi iti te vishwaso goptripte varnam tatha atmanikshepak karpanya sadvidha sharanagati. 6 conditions of surrender. The first condition is desire in accordance with Lord's desire. And the first condition is so potent that desire in accordance with Lord's desire, it takes care of the other 5 conditions. That always feel Lord is protecting you. That do not consider possessorship of whatever you have. Consider the Lord is the possessor. Do not have pride that you are surrendered. So those 6 conditions is actually taken care in one condition. And these days I am trying to implement another golden rule, that with every breath, take the name of the Lord. So the Guru that I follow taught us the glories of Radharani, that Radharani is Sri Krishna only. And Sri Krishna worships Radharani. So Radharani is such a glorious personality to remember. And Radhe Radhe Bol Shyam Bhaje Chale Aayenge. If you worship Radharani, Sri Krishna is so pleased. So we try to take the name Radhe with outgoing, incoming breath Ra and with outgoing breath The. So every moment we should try involuntarily Radhe, and then the other 3 rules are don't hurt anyone. And the third rule is always feel you are very low, you are very, very down there in the spiritual path. You need to improve so much. And the fourth is, even if you are insulted or put into difficulties, you have the ability to tolerate and don't take this into your heart. These are the 4 rules. So the 3 rules are brought to one rule. The 4 rules can be brought to one rule, that every moment. So that is what is there in the 12th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga. Very briefly, Bhakti Yoga is about 3-4 parts. The first part is about Evam Satata Yuktaye Bhakta Swam Paryupaste Te Chapi Aksharam Vyaktam Yogam Ke Vittama. And Sri Krishna says, Klesho Dhikataraste Sham Abhyakta Sakta Chetasam Abhyakta Gatir Dukkham Deha Vadbir Vapyate. Arjun is asking, what is superior? If I worship the form or the formless? Sri Krishna says, worship the form. Because you have a form, and for you to worship the formless is very difficult. So that is the first part. And then Sri Krishna starts giving the process of bhakti. Mayeva man adatasva mai buddhim niveshya nivasashyasi mameva ata urdhvam na sanshayah. And then at chittam samadhatum na shaknoti mai sthiram. Have me in your mind all the time, but if you cannot try to meditate, if you cannot try to meditate, work for me. If you cannot work for me, you renounce the fruits of your work. This is the second part of Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter. And the third part is Sri Krishna starts describing the qualities of the devotees. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirhankarah sashant sukhat dukha chami santusta satatam yogi yatatma dridha nischayah mai arpit mano buddhir yomad bhakta same priyah. So my devotee is a forgiver. He is not having hatred or attachment to anyone. He is always satisfied. Such amazing qualities. Yashmano dvijate lokan, lokano dvijate chayah. Harsha mars bhayo dvaigair yukto sacha ame priyah. Don't bring dishonor to anyone. Honor everyone. But if you are subjected to dishonor, don't feel bad. What an amazing concept. It happened to me 3 days back that I received such a nasty message. But it was so wonderful to transcend it and not to have negative feelings about the sender. That is the power of Bhagavad Gita. And then he says, Anapeksha suchir daksha udasino gatabhyatah sarvarambha parityagi yomad bhakta same priyaha yo na hirshyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshti and samashatro cha mitre cha tatha manapamaniyo. And finally, bhaktastivam me priyaha. If somebody practices this knowledge, he is the most glorious in my opinion, and I do everything for him. Ananya Chintayanto Mam. Because at the end of Bhagavad Gita, what is the Lord saying? Sarva dharmana parityajya. Forget all these rules and regulations. The only rule is remember me all the time. The only nised is don't forget me even for a moment. So in one of my sessions, I shared what I learned, that where the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, where the philosophy of the Holy Bible finishes, Bhagavad Gita begins. And where the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita finishes, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran begins. And that is my personal experience, that I became a teacher of Bhagavat Mahapuran about 6-7 years back in a formal way. And we are doing sessions after sessions. I'm doing one session for the USA group members and one for the UK group members. Of course, there are people from India and other places. This has been the most satisfying, most blissful experiences of my life. That Bhagavat Mahapuran is all about the glories of Sri Krishna. So what Bhagavad Gita does, it takes you to glorifying Sri Krishna, and the place where you glorify Sri Krishna in such amazing way is Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, and the same message is conveyed. Savai punsa paro dharmo yatho bhaktir adhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. In the very first canto, in one of the first chapters, Sri Krishna, first or second chapter, Sut Goswami is telling Shaunakadik rishis, what is bhakti? Be ananya, exclusive devotion. Once you are devoted to Sri Krishna, you have understood Sri Krishna, you don't have to think of any other alternative. Of course, Ram is also Krishna, Ganesh is also Krishna, Lakshmi is also Krishna, Saraswati is also Krishna. We should know all gods are one and the same. The posts are different, the roles are different. And even the Mahapurus, those who are God realized, the God says, consider him equal to me. So it is not that we are talking about only worshipping Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna and all the avatars, all the Mahapurush, Sri Krishna's name, form, leelas, abode, qualities, everything is Sri Krishna. So if we have that Ananya Bhakti, not that we are worshipping Sri Krishna and somebody said you have to go to this Devata's temple also, otherwise you will not get benefits. We lose that Ananyata. And then Ahaituki. We don't have to ask for anything from the Lord because the Lord is so complete that he knows what we need, like the mother knows what the child needs, so he is there to give us whatever we need. We don't have to ask. So ahaituki and apratihata, it should be continuous. There should not be a break. Did we ever have a doubt that this is not my mother, this is not my father throughout our life? That is apratihata. So I know I digressed a lot, and I'm sure you all will forgive me, because after becoming a teacher of Bhagavat Mahapuran, I wish to talk about Bhagavad Gita in that light. That is why I tried to cover. I'm sorry if I fell short of your expectations. Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Rajesh ji. Thank you so much. I think one repeated takeaway from yours is always think of Krishna.
Rajesh ji,
So
that was a quite instruction way of approaching Bhagavad Gita. It's very rare we see Krishna being taught us through Bhagavata Purana rather than through the shlokas and everything. Quite nice, quite revelation. Thank you very much for your wonderful lecture. Thank you.
thank you so much, Rajesh ji. I'll also open the floor to anyone. If you have questions that you would like to ask Rajesh ji, any clarifications that you would like to seek, please go ahead, unmute yourself. Please ask the question. Let's take advantage of Rajesh ji's vast knowledge. Archana ji, I see you have unmuted.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Rajesh ji. Today's been an amazing session.
Ask Rajesh ji
One
now.
second. I
He's
think
ready to
two
take up
people
the
are talking.
questions. Thank you. If not, you can put it in the chat box also. If you're not able to say it in person. Thank you.
Sorry, I think there was a little bit of a lag. Archana ji, please go ahead.
Yeah. So Rajesh ji, I have two questions here. One is about Sarv Dharmasya Parityajya. So what my understanding is at that time there were no different religions. So dharma doesn't refer to religion. So probably it refers to duty. So I'm talking of my understanding. I would seek your rectification of it. So does it mean like as my duty as a mother, my duty as a wife, I like Parityajya, does it refer to that? Or what does it stand for?
Okay, what I understand, and I understood, try to understand it from the persons whom I would consider the most bona fide, the most divine, the most scholarly. The meaning is, as the word explains, Sarva Dharmana Parityajya. So when we talk about karma and dharma in Vedic terms, we are talking about the karma kand. So there are the varnashram system, the Kshatriya, Grihastha, Brahmacharya, and Sannyas. These are the four ashram, and the Shudra, the Vaishya, the Kshatriya, they are the varnas. So for brahmachari, for Grihastha, for Brahmachari, for Vanprasthi, and for Sannyasi, there are different rules. And if you fall in the category of Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahman, that's the different rules. So those rules, Sri Krishna is telling, it is not required. Forget about the Karma Kand of the Vedas. So there are 80,000 shlokas in the Vedas which talk about Sandhya Vandan and this type of ritual. You have to perform this type of puja. So he's telling, I am telling you, if you come to my shelter, there is no need to compulsorily do it. It's not that we should renounce. I mean, at my home also we do ritualistic puja because we have to go by the norms of the society. But in theory, for Sri Krishna, the mind connection is the most important. Have you accepted Sri Krishna, that he is the Supreme Personality? And if I associate with him, all these ritualistic dharma and karma become secondary. The normal experience of the devotee is when we start taking shelter from Sri Krishna, we become a better mother, we become a better father, we become a better husband, we become a better employee, we become a better employer. So how can a devotee of Sri Krishna will not be performing his or her duties? So everything can happen, but the moot point is to not to worry about the karma and dharma. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. If we have taken shelter, this is my understanding, Archana ji.
Okay, thank you. Very well explained. And my other question is, while mentioning about Bhagavad Puran, you mentioned the qualities of a devotee, and one of them is that we don't ask the Lord for anything. And here I'm a bit confused by the translation, meaning we understand from Mahabharata, especially the Draupadi Chiran and that episode of that Dyut Krida, where Krishna is supposed to tell later, they say to Uddhav that Yudhishthira could have called me. If I had played against Shakuni, obviously I would have won. And I went there only when Draupadi started calling out to me. So it's that seems to mean like, until we call to the Lord doesn't come.
I think we should go by our practical example, like the mothers. Do they have to be told by the children that, mother, I'm feeling hungry, please give me food? The mother knows. So when we say, त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बंधुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या च द्रविणम त्वमेव सर्वम मम देव देव. Oh Lord, you alone are my father. You alone are my mother. That's the meaning. Because our worldly father is not our father. The real father is the Lord, the Atmas. All of us, we should know that the meaning of Tvam Adi, the Twameva Mata cha Pita Twameva, right? So once we know that the Lord is the Supreme Mother, will the Lord know what we need? The Leelas which are enacted in Mahabharata, they are, there may be exceptions or there may be deeper meaning. Like what I have understood from the Draupadi's episode is when Dushashan is pulling the sari, Draupadi says, "Oh Shri Krishna Dwarka Vasi, please come and rescue me." Okay. So she has, of course, called out. But we don't know that even if she had not called out, maybe Sri Krishna would have done some magic. But there was some kind of a episode. So Draupadi says, "Oh Dwarkadhish, oh Dwarkavasi Shri Krishna, please come and rescue." So later it is said in the Shastras that when Draupadi encounters Shri Krishna, she is recalling, "Oh Shri Krishna, why did you make such a delay? You know what was my condition? Another moment and Dushashan would have pulled my sari." So Shri Krishna says, in a lighter vein, perhaps, that Draupadi, what did you say? You said, "Oh Dwarka Vashi Sri Krishna, please come and rescue me." Now you know very well that I am there everywhere. In the form of Brahm, I am there in every atom of the universe. So when you said, "Oh Krishna Dwarka Vasi," I had to go to Dwarka and then come back. So that took some time. So it is in a little humor, but we should be very sure, like the mother knows the child needs the food very well. Sometimes a small child cannot ask. In fact, sometimes mother can make a mistake. The child is having a stomach pain because the child has taken an overdose of milk. But when the child is crying, the mother is feeding more milk. That mistake may be made by the mother, but the Lord is all-knowing. So we should not have a doubt. Of course, there are cases where the devotee has asked. There are three types of devotees. The gopis are the highest. They don't ask anything. They are called Samartharati Bhakt. The second category is Sadharani, the Samanjasa Rati, in which category comes Lakshmi, Rukmini, etc. And the third category is the Sadharani Rati, which is Kubja. So Kubja loved only Sri Krishna, but she was very concerned about her happiness. Sri Krishna, I want to feel the bliss only from you. Please marry me. So that is Sakam Bhakti. So there are cases. Even if you ask, it's not that Sri Krishna is going to be offended, but Sri Krishna is telling, I'm going to give you everything what you need anyway. So by asking, we are kind of, diluting the process. So we should remember, and that is why the gopis are the highest. In fact, when we don't ask anything, the Lord gives himself to the devotee. Everything he acts through us. I hope that answers your question, Archana.
Thank you, Rajesh. You explained everything so well. Will you share some details of your classes on Bhagavad Puran?
Yes, so I have three classes of Bhagavad. It takes place at 10 o'clock every Saturday, Singapore time, and every Sunday, and another Bhagavad class. It's a 1 hour Zoom session. Sometimes one session goes for another 30 minutes or 1 hour. So yes, and I have some recordings also, the links I can share with Anandji. Anandji can pass on to you.
Yes, please. If you could share some links, how we can join those classes, and all will be very nice. Thank you so much.
And Rajesh Anandji, one thing, you can even put it on the chat box now so that they can take it away from there as they type. One thing I want to add, extrapolating what Rajesh ji said, exactly the same thing what he said, the Matrut Vatsalyam is what you call praise or Tevaram in Tamil, Tiruvachakam in Tamil, where Saint Manikavasaka says to God that you show me so much of compassion and affection, far exceeding the mother. Tayinum sala parindu paal nininduttam. You always feed me. The mother feeds the baby even without his crying. She knows there's a time, there's a thing, the baby will be hungry. She doesn't look at the clock, she doesn't look at anything, but she knows by her instinct, baby is now hungry and she starts feeding. So he says, even surpassing that mother's love, you are showing me so much of compassion, even though I don't deserve it. So he goes on like that. So compassion of God is something beyond our perception, but we may not realize it. That's all. And one more thing I want to add while Rajesh is sharing the thing, taking the screen away from him, is that the puja rituals and all are steps in the ladder, because without anything, the mind will not get fixated on anything. So these pujas and rituals are the initial steps for us to get into the path, and we continue that. And I remember one Swamiji saying, okay, I realize I become Purna Krishna Bhakta, I do everything. Do I have to still do all this? Is like even Krishna says, like Loka Sankraha, he says that we have to do that to impart the, what do you call, the procedures or the knowledge to the upcoming generations. Because if we realize and we stop, they don't know how to start again, how to pursue this and follow this path. So we continue to do this. He gave a very good example that those days we used to have some, what do you call, pebbles to count. He says we started counting the numbering 1, 2, 3 like that, but we don't throw away that. Even if we know the numbers by heart, we keep it for our children. So same way we keep our rituals and procedures and pujas, everything for the generations to come. That's why I thought I can add that. Thank you, Rajesh ji, for your patience.
Thank you so much, Srinivasan ji. And a special thanks for inviting me and communicating with me for this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. No, it's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajesh ji. Thank you so much, Srinivasan ji. Also, before, if there are any other questions, please do ask. While you're asking the questions, let me also just remind you of two of the upcoming events. The next Parayan and Satsang session will be on the 18th. So 2 weeks from now, on the 18th of October, please join in for that also. And then we will be having the Sampurna Gita Parayan on Mokshada Ekadashi day on the 1st of December. Our request is please do register so that we can make the necessary logistics arrangements. If you go to the Gita Jayanti website, you will be able to see that there is a link to register. You will see the same poster that you see here on the website also. You can click that to register so that we will be able to make all arrangements for the devotees who are coming. Let me quickly check the chat to see if there are any other questions. No other questions. Rajesh ji has kindly shared both his YouTube channel as well as his email. So those of you who would like to get in touch with him, please do reach out to him. Sincere thanks today to our chanters, Arjun ji and Rema Guru ji. Our also really big heartfelt thanks to Rajesh ji for a wonderful lecture on the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you all for attending this session, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session. We will conclude with closing prayers. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna.